Politics is a pendulum whose swings between anarchy and tyranny are fueled by perennially rejuvenated illusions. Albert Einstein. What we are seeing right now in the political world is an illusion, and the masks are starting to drop off if you're paying attention. One of the reasons that I led with Albert Einstein today is I am fully convinced now, more so than I have ever been, that at some point in the mid-1990s to around the turn of the millennium, they stopped teaching applied mathematics. They stopped teaching kids how to do math in their heads, because if you're a millennial or younger, you aren't seeing a basic math problem. And if you are Gen X and older, if you look closely, you'll scratch your head and go, hey, wait a minute. Those numbers don't make sense. That just spitballing it, looking at it, doesn't look like it makes sense to what they're saying. I've got more evidence. We talked about this in yesterday's video. We're going to talk about it again today. But real quick before we go there, gratitude as always. Thank you, everyone who continues to sign up over the Florida Monkey Patreon channel, where at the base level it's only US $1 per month. That's it. Even less if you sign up for an entire year, fully refundable, first 90 days, no questions asked. Over there we talk about psychological operations, the basic 24 cognitive biases and 24 logical fallacies that affect people, and we show examples. We show examples of the illusion, how very carefully crafted psychological operations used in the media and in government can show you one thing, but you'll believe another because of the emotions they attach to it. Now, 4 levels over there, 1, 5, 10, and 15 a month. Whatever you can afford, whatever God puts on your heart. Once again, no risks to you between now and basically the Super Bowl. The next 3 months, 90 days, go over there, kick the tires. It's not for you. Full refund of the full 90 days. No questions asked. Let's get right to it. Now, as a lead in, illusion number 1. You would think the girls at Fox News were going to a funeral. Remember all those girls who were painting on the pretty smiles on election night and no, Trump won, Trump won, Trump won? These girls are all card-carrying Democrats, and ever since they have been dressing completely different. They're virtue signaling to their friends over in the liberal media that they're still on their side, wearing all black. All the way up to the neck, all the way down to the ankle. That is not the hallmark. Leaving Kayleigh McEnany, this was today, sitting there, all the way to the neck, all the way to the ankle, all the way down the sleeve, all black. Martha McCallum, black boots with black leather pants tucked in, black turtleneck, and a Democrat blue vest. You can't really see it. I'm trying to remember this girl's name. I know it's Andrea Tantaros. But once again, she's got a black vest on under this, and this girl here is kind of their liberal, token liberal that they have over there. And she's, of course, virtue signaling to Jill Stein, Green Party. It is like a funeral over there, and all they're talking about, if you pay attention, is how Kamala Harris lost it, not how Trump won it. Yeah, Trump winning was a side effect of Kamala Harris losing it, but it was her to lose. If you don't believe me, this is a hallmark of liberal, leftist, Democrat women. It's how they virtue signal to each other. You see, they see bright colors as acquiescing to the patriarchy. They don't even like skirts, really. It's all pantsuits. I mean, they do. I know there's in this picture, you're saying this and you're seeing this. They know that they have to appeal to other than their base to get people to tune in. But go back and look. All black, all the time. Elizabeth Hasselbeck once in a while would wear something light colored. And of course, she was, in their world, the token conservative. See, this is what Fox News built its brand on. You know, Joy. Remember Joy? Oh, and we're going to get to this in a minute. We're going to jump in the Wayback Machine here in a minute and talk about Trump and his predilection for choosing people on his staff without really thinking too much about their qualifications. This woman almost made it. This Fox News babe almost made it into the line of succession of the presidency at the State Department. Heather Nauert, I'm sure a lot of you might remember. But let's get right to something that, before I forget it, this is a screenshot from my video yesterday. And I'm doing this for a reason, so that they can't monkey with the numbers. She had, as of yesterday at about this time, a little earlier, 68.1 million votes. Donald Trump had 72.7 million votes. Now, as an aside, if you took all of the swing states, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada, wherever their counts are right now, and you flipped all of the vote totals, meaning the votes that Trump got, give them to Harris. The votes that Harris got, give them to Trump. Of course, what would that do? That would, of course, give her the landslide, right? Okay? In the Electoral College, he would still have more total votes. He would still have won the popular vote as of right now. But here's the kicker. Now remember, 68.1, 72.7. Let's go to right now. 69.3, 73.6. She's catching him. She's catching him, and in California, they are expecting 7.6 million more votes to come in virtually all the blue areas. They've counted almost all of the red areas of California, but they're still counting all the blue areas. That doesn't include Nevada and Arizona. Now, how do I get to that number? It's real simple. Kamala Harris has 6.1 million votes. Donald Trump has 4.2. That comes out to a grand total of 10.3 million votes. 10.3 million votes. But only 58% is in. So 10.3 million represents 58% of the total vote. So if you pop up a calculator, and at the time that I did this calculation, it was 0.577, the grand total vote that they are expecting is 17.9. They're expecting a grand total of 17.9 million votes to be counted. 17.9, here we go. 10.3. That means 7.6 million more votes. 7.6 million more votes are going to come in, the vast majority, for Kamala Harris. She's going to pass him, is what I'm saying. She's going to pass him. And that's going to be the trigger. Now, when that happens, I don't know. At some point, though, because of the rate at which his votes are going up and her votes are going up, she's going to pass him. Especially when they add in Nevada, add in Arizona. She's going to pass him. And that's going to be the trigger. Now, once again, if you're wondering, well, wait, hold on, Floor Monkey. You said something about the swing states and their votes. If you added up the difference, like, for example, here in Wisconsin, he won 1.697 to 1.667. That's 30,000 votes. Michigan was about 77. So we got about 100,000 votes now. Pennsylvania, 150. So 250,000 votes by the time we get to Pennsylvania. 688, 877. So about 190. So 440. 440 and a little over 100. So 550, 570. We're up to 575,000 by the time we get to Georgia. And another 100 and a quarter, so 700,000 and about, so we'll say 750,000, roughly. There's a 750,000 vote difference in all of the swing states. 750,000 votes. You could take 750,000 votes, take them away from Donald Trump, and give them to Kamala Harris, and he would still, right now, have more votes. So she could have, very easily, because it was only a couple of points in each of these states, only a couple of points. She could have had the electoral landslide, and he could have had the popular vote very easy. But they're still counting. That's the key. They are still counting. Now, Heather Nauert, just to back up what I said. Heather Nauert from Fox News, about my age-ish. She is about 3.5 months older than I am. American broadcast journalist. She was the spokesperson for the Trump administration in the first go-round. But she got promoted to Undersecretary of State for Public Diplomacy and Public Affairs, which was the number 4 person at the time at the State Department. Nikki Haley, once again, not sure if she was chosen as ambassador to the United Nations based on her being governor of South Carolina. And I still have no answer from any Trump supporter ever about how Rex Tillerson, a Exxon CEO, made his way to Secretary of State right off the get-go. CEO of Big Oil. And the girl that he just promoted to Chief of Staff, that Susie Wiles, he had 4 chiefs of staff in 4 years. Reince Priebus, John Kelly, very, very shortly Mick Mulvaney and Mark Meadows. And one final thing. How many of you remember me using this picture in videos about Venezuela? This is from 6 July of 2021. And this is a girl named Paola Ramos on MSNBC. And she was screaming to high heaven back then about Latinos migrating to GOP and called it a crisis. It was such a big article at the time that Fox News actually covered MSNBC covering this. Conservative Latinos push back on MSNBC claim that they're in crisis. Quote, no, we are waking up. She wasn't saying that Latinos were in crisis. What she was saying, it was a crisis for the Democrats. And I said, and once again, this is another article, MSNBC panel frets over Trump seeing 10-point bump in 2020. In 2020. And I caught all sorts of crap for basically reporting my experience. I was stationed down there in the military. And I said, if conservatives and Christians and Republicans wanted to never lose an election ever again and wanted to win them going away, you would go down there en masse in pickup trucks and start shipping these people here. Now, why do I bring this up in the context of everything we just talked about? The invaders across the border have more in common and more support for Donald Trump than the girls at Fox News do. I want you to soak that up for just a minute. I want you to soak this up for just a minute. The girls at Fox News, including Kayleigh McEnany, have less support for Donald Trump than your so-called invaders. Breaking news alert, massive prediction, there's going to be no mass deportations. There's going to be no mass deportations because right now the Trump teams are looking at the numbers and they're like, there's no way we can piss these people off. There's no way we can piss these people off. They're the reason we're here. Latinos are the reason Donald Trump is president. The inroads that he made with the Latino community, starting all the way back in 2020, have now come to fruition. They're not Democrat operatives. They're not Democrat operatives. They are social conservatives. Now do you believe me? I mean, forget the fact that I actually lived down there, was stationed down there, was around these people. They're far more conservative than even some of the most devout Christians in the South. They're maybe not your particular flavor of Christian. A lot of them are Roman Catholics. They're not, evangelicals. They're not Baptists. But they're sure as heck. They are sure as heck not these people who are the same as these people. The girls who live in Manhattan, Fox News girls, who were all glowingly talking about how great it was that Trump got elected and all this crap, they're lying. Hence the political illusion. But what did we hear? What did we hear for how many years? The giant invasion, and they're going to vote Democrat. They're going to get a bunch of money from the Democrats, and that'll buy their allegiance for decades and decades, and we'll never win an election. And even Donald Trump said, the day before the election, hey, you know what? Might lose. That happens, sometimes. So no apology is necessary, I guess. But how about we jump in the Wayback Machine? Remember Kayleigh McEnany? Remember when she showed up as Trump's press secretary and she was all full of fire and, all ready to go and take on the liberal mainstream media? And she wasn't even the first one. The difference you're seeing here is a couple years. And as the cherry on the top of this video, the Sunday of this video, how many of you saw Trey Gowdy on Fox News earlier this morning? If you didn't, here's what you would have heard. Trey Gowdy, these are not my words, you can go look them up. When asked about Hunter Biden, Trey Gowdy, firebrand conservative Trey Gowdy, said, hasn't Joe Biden been through enough? I mean, he lost his wife, and then he lost his oldest son to cancer. Do we really want to see Joe Biden in his elder years have to go visit his one remaining son in prison? Hasn't he been through enough? I mean, didn't you hear Donald Trump talk about how it would have been just a shame to prosecute Hillary? It wouldn't have done anything for unity. She had been through too much. Hillary Clinton had just been through the ringer too much. It wouldn't have been good for unity. It would have been a horrible optical thing to see. So I believe that if Joe Biden doesn't pardon his son, Hunter Biden, that Donald Trump should, in the name of unity with baby killers, unity with child mutilators, unity with people who would force a jab into your arm, people that want men walking into your daughter's restroom, in the name of unity with them, Donald Trump should pardon Hunter Biden. That's what firebrand Trey Gowdy said. Soak that one up for a minute. And yeah, a little bit of snark, but I was reporting this years ago. When I saw my fellow Americans find another group of Americans and call them all sorts of filthy names when they didn't realize how much they had in common with them. Havana Times, the rise of the Latino far right. Latinos opting for Trump. This was 8 October of this year. Christiane Amanpour, award-winning journalist Paola Ramos, investigates the shift in her new book, Defectors, the rise of the Latino far right and what it means for America. But of course, you can't watch places like this because Donald Trump didn't tell you to watch. Did he? Illusion confirmed. Cult confirmed. Politics is a pendulum whose swings between anarchy and tyranny are fueled by perennially rejuvenated illusions. Albert Einstein. Learn math. Learn math. Basic applied mathematics. What I did here wasn't algebra. It was just basic addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, percentages. 8th grade stuff. 8th grade math. You could figure this out. So, I will leave it there before I get probably myself in trouble. Join us over Patreon, where the snark level goes to the next level. It's not for everybody. 1, 5, 10, 15. We're going to have a new video up next 24 to 48 hours, probably by the end of the weekend for sure. The last one we just did, brand new content, was for everybody, the 1, 5, 10, and $15 levels. The next video that we're going to do is going to be for the, of course, Need to Know Roundtable. And of course, unit commanders, brigade commanders, you are invited, of course, to sit in because you are at levels above that on the Need to Know Roundtable. That'll be our next video. God bless. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Lift each other up. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.